charging by the hour.
Thanks. I like that. See, artists charge by the hour. I get 75 typically an hour. When I'm doing photography, we get 400 first hour, 200 every hour after that. Okay, so I'm starting with the base. So I want to make the tree about this big, and this is like if I was doing a gesture drawing of a tree, I want to catch the movement and the energy of the tree. And then since this one sits in a bowl, then it's got the, the roundness of the top, the roundness of the bottom, and then close the space. And I'm using vine charcoal, so I'm just letting it float around. So this is, the gesture drawing is what I want you to understand is how to find the energy of the tree, the movement of the tree. So like you said now, this is where I want you to come down and I want you to just look at the outside negative space with the line. So I just grab a point in space and start coming down. And I already have a map of where this tree is going to go with my gesture drawing. So I'm just drawing the leaves that I see that are on the outside. I'm doing the outside, the negative spaces drawings are what we did in the very first class. So I'm hoping that you have like some of that still going. So now I'm getting down to the trunk. I have a map of where I'm going. So I started in space up here. I'm going to try to close the space up here across the top. You can see the leaves moving. And I'm just trying to simplify this shape as much as I can. Then it changes out on me. So I'm going to follow the branch. Since I got a branch with just a couple leaves on it, I'm going to follow a branch. And see how my line just floats? I'm not doing a jagged line. I'm doing like a floating line. Random branch coming off here. I'm looking at my negative space. And then I got these big aerial roots that kind of come down into the pot. So this is my pot that it sits in. I can see this little open space here. So I'm going to quickly come up and just try to find my little open spaces and put them in. My open spaces up here start getting smaller. So then I look for like one I look at the whole tree now and I just try to find like open spaces that I want to show that represent what's going on. And you can do this with any size tree. This could be a 100-foot tall tree. Point of view changes a little bit. So now the next thing I want to do is add values to it. So I got check my pot. So I got my simplest definitive lines going. Now I want to add value to it with the charcoal. And this is where I come back and start filling it in so that I'm not making it a cartoon drawing. I'm trying to hold it, make the drawing hold together with values. And this is like that technique where I have the charcoal and I'm just kind of pushing down on the front edge where it gives me a sharp line. and then fills in the edge. So these negative spaces I want to leave white, and we'll come back, and even if I get into them, we come back and this one we erase into it if I need to. So now I've got my middle tones. I've gotten my tones in here, and so now I look at my tree for my lights and my darks. I start so I look for where the dark spots are. So it's around the base. I have more dark. Now look at the whole thing again and see where I need to go to make the tree stand out more like a tree. I'll start drawing in some of the thinner branches out here. I see another branch coming down this way. So I'm wanting you to, does this make sense so far? It's kind of like the whole thing, the technique of everything we've been learning in the class. So now I'm looking at the negative space. And even when you're looking at a big tree, it's like you come up and you draw the space of that the tree represents, and then come in and start making the holes in it for where the parts where the light shines through, and then putting the, so I'm really wanting you to move away from like creating heavy cartoon outlines, to do your trees, but let value, use variations in lines. So one of the things you'll see in the critiques of your artwork is variations in lines. So you're not just putting down one line and digging into it. You're putting down gestural lines to show the movement and the form. You're coming back and showing negative and positive spaces, coming back and adding value and tone, and then erasing, lifting, then evaluating your drawing and doing more. That's like the typical structure of everything we've been doing so far, right? Pretty close. Any questions at this point? So landscape drawing starts, usually you'll want to, get in your horizon line like we did with the 1 point, 2 point perspective, and then put your tree to its environment that it's in. And this is where you get items that are in the back are lighter, and items that come closer are darker. Less detail in the items far away, and more detail in the items that are up close. So as I come back and detail it, I would want to come back and detail along the roots, and in this area, and then the front of the pot. I want to start adding more lines and form and detail in here. Okay, thank you.